Digital Collective.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is a good day. Today is the relaunch, rebirth, I don't know what you want to call it, but the Digital Collective is back where it's supposed to be with conversations for entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, creators, all about understanding not just the consumer technology side, but also the enterprise technology side, and also about the culture of business and the culture of what matters to business owners. Don't worry about me. That's Caren Glasser over there, ladies and gentlemen. She's the one that is going to make this show phenomenal. I'm just here to heckle from the back of the room. We, all right. We want you to join us in this dialogue because we're going to have some real unbiased conversations. You've heard me say every now and then that I will tell an organization if their baby's ugly. We may do that. But the idea is to give value to those that come in the community and continue to evolve. Caren, are you doing all right? Did I just mess up everything?
No, I'm doing great because this is not about hype. This is not about headlines, right? This is all about these real decisions that we have to make every single day.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're making them multiple times a day. Have you ever felt like everything's moving so fast right now? I made a decision yesterday and now I have to change it today.
Every single
Those
day.
are the things that we're going to be talking about. And today is our first episode. So it's kind of fun because we're talking about the foundation.
It kind of makes sense. I had nothing to do with it, ladies and gentlemen. She's the one that did that also. Listen, again, I told you I'm just here to heckle, but Karen's the genius behind this.
I think we're going to laugh through this entire show. I totally think we're going to laugh. So let's talk a little bit about foundation and let's talk about what exactly is a digital transformation, because a lot of people just say, just start, right? And that's not really what they should be doing. What would you do if somebody said, just start, James?
That's too vague,
Yeah.
right? At the end of the day, I do talk a lot about folks getting out of your own way, right? So just start. It makes sense from a theoretical perspective, from a 35,000 foot perspective. But if you don't have a why, if you just turn on lights, press record, and speak into a microphone with no real direction, with no understanding, with no, not even an end goal, but just a mission in mind, you're really just going to be spinning your wheels. So just starting will get you the reps of going through the process, but being real intuitive, being real focus-minded, concerted, being real aware of what it is you want to talk about and who you want to talk to.
Which is sometimes more important, right? It's who you're talking to, because the way I talk to you is going to be different than the way I talk to Joe Schmo on the block that doesn't have an inkling as to what any of this stuff is all about. So when we say digital transformation, what does that mean exactly? What does it mean to you?
Well, in today's world, it has two letters in it all the time. And in every conversation is all about artificial intelligence. It really is, right? And those who, I'm gonna get on the soapbox for a minute. Those who are refusing to embrace it, to embrace this digital transformation of moving and leveraging artificial intelligence are going to be left behind.
No question.
Full stop.
Full stop.
It doesn't matter if you are looking to implement automation into your process. It doesn't matter if you're looking to implement more research types of capabilities, but you have to understand the power of AI, where it's going, and how you can fit your business into it.
Exactly. But here's the quagmire in that, waiting obviously carries the risk, but just reacting, like jumping in with 2 feet and not knowing what you're doing can also be very, very risky, right?
The problem with waiting in enterprise technology and technology in and of itself is that the lifespan is very short.
Right.
Right. We can't say, what are you going to do long term and expect that to be 5-10 years down the road. That could be 5-6 months.
Yeah.
Now, again, so we don't want to sit around and wait. We don't want to rely on incorrect information. We don't want to be in our way, but we do have to go in with a conscious effort of what it is that we're trying to leverage and what we're trying to do. So pick a platform, pick a direction, have your mission statements, have your goals and your plans and your purposes written down so that you know where you are, where step A is, and then where you're trying to get for the next step. But don't get caught up in what it is today. Yesterday we were talking OpenAI. Today we're talking about Anthropic. Next week we're talking about Meta. Don't get locked in, right? So that's where I see a lot of people. You tell
Right.
me. Let me ask you that because again we can talk about Chat GPT, Perplexity. We can talk about
Everything. Claude,
Claude.
Manus.
Who
No,
cares?
yeah.
Who cares? And that's where people stop themselves, blindside themselves, I think,
Right.
just by really making a decision that affects them either professionally and personally, by getting caught up in that minutia. We can rise up. And I think that's really what we want to help do with this digital collective is help people rise up above a lot of that noise and have real conversation.
To
So,
get clarity
mm,
as to why they should use something, why they shouldn't use something. Sometimes it's actually the opposite. Again, I don't know about you. I listen to the gurus. Well, I don't listen to them. I yell in, an empty space saying, why are they saying the same thing over and over and over again? Transformation is really a leadership
mm,
strategy problem first. The technology will follow. I really
that's a good
think
point.
that the whole idea of starting with technology first and not doing the clarity piece is you are literally just saying you're going to fail. I really think it's pretty dramatic, but I think you're going to fail. Most organizations don't fail at the digital transformation; they fail at the actual strategy.
Oh my goodness. I didn't know we were going to be calling people out like this. Okay. Are we going to put this on
You
LinkedIn
agree?
too? Okay, we're talking. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you don't agree, and maybe you don't agree. I just think
No, I agree, and I apologize for interrupting, but that's the part right there that I think a lot of I know a lot of organizations are afraid to have that conversation, that real conversation,
right.
right? That gets missed in a lot of the marketing, a lot of the strategy, a lot of the planning conversations at whatever organization, whatever industry. So I think it's actually refreshing that we're bringing that up.
No, and again, you know me enough at this point to know that
Mm.
I don't have as much of a filter that I
Oh,
probably
I'm waiting for the words to come out. Listen, I'm instigating too, ladies and gentlemen. When Karen pulls them out, there will be no censorship beep when I do all the editing. Oh,
All right.
it's gonna be great.
So, James, what do you think the risk actually is if organizations delay and they don't step up? If they say, "Nah, I think I'm going to hold off and we'll look at this in a couple of months," what's the risk?
Obsolescence. It's not even a question anymore, right? Again, the whole industrial revolution, the whole whatever revolution that you want to call it, this technology revolution is no longer a want; it's a need. It's a must have,
Right.
regardless of industry.
Right.
Right? You could be customer facing, you could be retail, you could be selling cupcakes, whatever the case may be. Just again, understanding your business, where your business is, who's your competition, and being able to do that quickly, leveraging technology that is out there for us today, and being able to do that fast. We can get it. Those organizations can get in front of their competition. They can start thinking differently as well. Yeah, you could do it before with the old
Yep.
school. Everyone get on the Zoom, everyone get in a meeting, and you do the affinity process. You put the postcard. I just dated myself with that one. Whoa. Um, you throw the post-its on the board. That's all fine and good. I think
Right.
we still need some of that, but when you have to move at lightning speed to stay competitive,
They're not going to cut. So let's talk about some definitions.
yeah,
Some companies will say, "Well, we're just being patient. We're going to just wait and we're going to be patient,
yeah.
or we're going to procrastinate over this." And is there a difference between being patient and procrastinating when it comes to digital transformation?
All right. Now I'm gonna start talking about people. I think all right, patience really is slowing down on purpose
Yes,
from my perspective.
I agree.
But you're still moving forward.
Right.
Well, so I'll say that being patient is slowing down with a purpose, with intent and purpose.
Hmm.
That was the word I was looking for earlier. See, I'm an older gentleman, so I'm seasoned, so I forget things sometimes. The word I was looking for was intent. Uh, so patience again to me is slowing down on purpose, but still moving forward. You're taking things and in the right order. You're testing before you go big. You're having conversations with people and things of that nature. But I think procrastination, uh, that's just delay. That's just delay because you're trying to avoid
Right.
uncomfortable situations. That's delay because you're in your own way. So you don't do anything because you're afraid to make that leap.
And
So
I think
patience is a good thing.
a lot of business owners do that, right?
Yeah. It's because it's either, and again, I'm third person looking in for a lot of things here, but I have talked to, consulted, worked with a lot of organizations, but it's it's been done this way for the past 20 years. So let's continue to do this. We've been successful. We'll grow as we need to grow, but we've never been in a time as we are now. To, to whereas everyone has instant access to information 24/7, 365. And my competitor is just as smart as me by wording and crafting a nice prompt that says, I want to take over the world and I want to be Karen at what you're doing. I would never do that, but so
Well, you never know. It seems like we're really having a conversation about urgency
mm,
and then going into an intentional strategy about that, right? And actually clarifying what the problem is before you actually go try to solve it. And I think that that's one of the biggest challenges people have with technology today is that they're being told, go do this, go do that. You
yeah,
should be doing this, do 10 things all at the same time. And they don't even know what the problem is that they're solving.
yeah. A lot of CEOs or CIOs. I used to call it the CIOs at the barbershop, right? They'd all gather together at the barbershop, and one person will be talking about
Right,
X, and one will be talking about Y, X, another one talking about Z, and they all want to do the same thing. They all want to succeed. So they hear somebody in their industry is doing something, so we got to implement it over here as well. We've got to make that move to the cloud. So this is real life, folks. Okay, enterprise technology. I don't know if you remember about was it 5, 10 years ago? Every company wanted to move to the cloud. No,
right,
no more on-prem data centers. It was all, hey, we're going to move everything to public cloud. Either Amazon or Google wasn't, GCP wasn't out yet, but it was
right.
it was Azure and Amazon. Come to find out, repatriation, moving data back and forth from a cloud is very expensive.
Yes.
So, so when those bills and those invoices came from Amazon and from Microsoft, companies were like, wait a minute.
Right.
Maybe we should talk about a hybrid, whereas we still maintain some of the crown jewels or some of the ERP, some processing on prem, as opposed to putting everything in the cloud. So again, you can't follow like a lemming what everyone else is doing. Understand what matters and what resonates with your business in your direction. If you don't know that, that's the challenge right there. I won't say it's a problem. That's the challenge right there. If you don't have a vision board, if you don't have that conversation with your stakeholders and the folks within your organization to know who it is you are today and where you're trying to get to, go hire Karen. She'll help you out from a consulting
Well,
perspective.
they're going to need to come to you first. So wait a second. So what we're saying is that leaders need to slow down,
Yeah, exactly.
right, to
Yeah.
make better decisions without missing the whole thing, because
Hmm.
we know they need to get there. They have to get there.
Right.
But it's how they're going to get there, right? Are they going to get there with this urgency? Is I got to do it right now, and they pick the wrong tools, or are they going to slow down just enough? And it's what you talked about. It's the patience versus the procrastination, right?
Hmm.
Slow
Hmm.
down. And that's hard because you're also hearing in the other ear, why aren't you doing this yet? So what do we tell businesses? What do we tell organizations? And is it different for the big organizations versus the small, small business, solopreneurs, whatever we're calling
Yeah.
them? What is it different for them?
I think there's less friction in the smaller organizations, meaning less red tape, less political, less things to deal with,
Right,
and mouths to feed, and people to get on online and on board. That's a good thing, and that could be a bad thing. I
right,
think smaller organizations can be more agile, obviously, but again, if you pivot too much, sometimes I think if you're a smaller organization, that can have more dramatic effects, either positive or negative as well. But the patience piece is making sure you have all of the facts, at least most of the facts. You're never going to have a perfect scenario of what's going on, but at least have a concerted list of pros and cons, do's and don'ts, what ifs and what nots, and then make a decision as opposed to waiting
agreed.
until you think you got everything. You agree with that?
I agree with that 100%. I back in the day when before AI, when we had things like mind maps, like computerized, you would
I
go
still use.
online.
I love my apps.
Right? I love mind maps. And I'm researching right now, there are a few artificial intelligent mind map platforms out there that will help you think
Mm.
when you throw all that, excuse me, shit on the wall,
There it is.
and it will help you think.
Yeah.
And we can also call it a roadmap, a mind map, a roadmap, whatever you want to call it. You just said you love mind maps, so you use them, huh?
I am there is a mind map if we're going to start tools, there's a mind map utility in Notebook LM.
Oh,
And Google, listen, let me tell you something. I'm gonna give you some gems here. I'm gonna drop some gems. Get onto Notebook LM and check that out. There's a whole mind mapping utility that you put in your high level idea and it starts branching it out. Oh my god, it's beautiful.
wait, you know what else it does?
What's
It
that?
will create an audio interview of your topic that you put in there.
That is true too.
Very cool.
Don't give away all the
Okay.
secrets. Episode 1. This is episode 1. Jeez, we got like 8 years to go. Right, you're gonna give everything.
You know what? And we have 8 years worth of technology platforms
Oh
out
my
there because
goodness.
they're changing every single day, which really, I think it's important that we say this right now.
Yeah.
The platform that you're using today may not work tomorrow. And I don't mean it's going to break. I mean, it may not work for you.
Yeah.
It may not be the right one for you. So whenever you're jumping into something, I encourage people, and I don't know how you feel about this, is in the back of your mind saying, it's okay if this doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to try it. I know that Joe told me to go do this. It's like we just said, go check out Notebook LM. There may be some people that go check it out and say, this is not right for me right now. And I think that's an operative word, right now. I think everybody should be using Notebook LM personally. It's a very cool platform.
Yeah. So let me throw this in there for you as well too. So just kind of based on what you're just talking about, even if a company that you're using aligns with another company, maybe gets sold or bought into another organization, and if you don't personally or professionally align with that organization, I'm beating around the bush.
But I know you're beating.
Okay, but I'm gonna say it. Okay, I'm gonna say it.
Just
I was a lover of Manus from day zero.
Where you're going.
Listen, I love Manus. I love what it builds. I love what it does. And then they messed around and got acquired by Meta.
Yeah. And and there are some people who think that's great, right?
Yeah.
I'm not one of them.
No, I'm not one of them either. Bless his heart, Zuckerberg, we'll probably never get a sponsorship from Meta just because of my mouth. But again, so I don't directly align with kind of the goals, premises, directions of Meta, but Manus is still the truth. But I am actively looking for an alternative just in case and should they turn in too much into a Meta entity.
Hey, the other one is Grok. If you're not a ex Twitter or used to use Twitter and now you're using whatever what is it now called?
Well, yeah, I'm a Twitter guy because I'm a Jack Dorsey guy. I will never call it X, but
it comes from there. Grok comes from that. Now, what's interesting about that? Now, I love Grok and I do use Grok. I love it because it's one of those platforms you don't have to know anything. You can put a picture in there and say, animate it.
Yeah.
That's all you have to say, and it animates it for you. And for those who are fearful of AI, that's a great stepping stone right into using it for the first time. But I think we're going to see more of this. We're going to see more of the social platforms that are going to start buying up the AI. And I'm not happy about that.
That's a frightening realization because then you start having, man, we may be digging into multiple episodes now, and then we can go further down the rabbit hole. But we'll put that seed in people's minds here. Then you start having monopoly of the Google, Meta,
right,
whomever else, where they own the conversation end to end.
Right.
You put in you're starting to see that right now in your Facebook profile as well, right? You'll post something and there'll be some text at the bottom trying to explain what that image is or what that video is and kind of answering further conversations or further questions. So it's being built in right now.
It is.
I don't know if that's pre or post Manus, but Meta is definitely.
I think it's post Manus. I think they're using Manus as that back end, that piece of it to help create that. I can have good thoughts. Maybe it's not going where we think it's going.
I just renewed my subscription for the month yesterday, so I gotta go for at least another month. We'll see.
At least another month. So, what do we tell people when we say, you need to have a mind map or a road map? Does a good roadmap help leaders to say no to things as well as to say yes to things?
brings about some clarity,
Hmm.
right? It's not the end all to be all, but again, it tells you which sandbox you want to play in.
Right.
From my perspective, it tells you kind of again that mission, that goal, those desires that were laid out in some type of consortium, some type of collective. I just do the word in uh, of who we are and where we want to be, and so you're not throwing spaghetti against the wall. If you have a mind map, if you have a roadmap, if you have a plan, and you've done it with intention and purpose,
Right.
you know not to be surprised and hit with the shiny object syndrome every single time those CIOs go
Which
through
I
things.
have. I do. I have it. And I like to say I've broken everything so you don't have to, because I have that syndrome.
Yeah.
I see something cool and go, oh, I have to go do it. Um, not a very good process, obviously, but somebody has to do it.
Somebody's got to keep the economy
Somebody's
going.
got to keep it. So, how do we get an organization aligned to make the decision as to how they're going to transform into this AI world or the technology? It's not just AI we're talking technology, but technology has a lot of AI built into it. How do we get people aligned? How do you get your company aligned? What is it you need to do? What do you think?
I like enablement. I like training. I like staying abreast of current situations. I like understanding different perspectives.
Yep.
So I like the fact that the people that are in the know or who need to be in the know actually being in the know. And when I say that, I mean
Right.
doing the research themselves and not just in a vacuum coming up with a decision. Actually looking at alternative perspectives, actually thinking and leveraging their team, things like that. That's what I think long answer short, what companies and what individuals need to do is to leverage the fact that you don't have to make these decisions in a vacuum. You can find like-minded folks and find a couple of folks who aren't necessarily like-minded as well, to where you can have a constructive debate. I think that's what's missing, to be honest with you, with a lot of
Yeah.
these companies, these organizations. A lot of this stuff gets decided upon in a vacuum.
I agree. And I'm not sure what the answer to that is. It's
Mm,
almost like they need consultants like us that come in and tell them or expose them to this very thing,
hmm
because they're hearing the opposite. They're hearing the opposite. They either have a consultant coming in and saying, what do you mean you're not doing all of this? And they go, oh my God, we have to do this. Or they have somebody that says, yeah, you eventually need to do some, all, whatever of this. But first, again, my word, let's get clear as
Yeah.
to what your company, and let's get buy in. Let's get shared accountability. Let's get everyone to buy in so that when you go jump in, everyone's in, not everyone's not always in, and you know it, you see it in
Yeah.
the company, right, when not everybody's in, it's clear.
Yeah. You'll never get that full buy-in. I like what you said too about the fact that in time, because that's back to our patience thing, right?
Right.
As well. Jumping in, trying to boil the ocean and try to do everything with urgency, that almost sounds like a spam call, right? Right. You got to do this right now
Right.
or whatever, whatever. No, you don't. You got to be thoughtful and patient and
Right.
intentional about your maneuvers, about your next steps. There are folks that can come in and help you. So I think that's really where I see a lot of failures. Either again, the smaller folks, the larger folks, the medium-sized folks, businesses, individuals, organizations, or whatever, by trying to do too much by themselves as opposed to leveraging folks that are
I
in
agree
their circle.
100%. So as we get towards the end of this episode and we talk about what digital transformation really is, we're going to talk about what it really isn't. It's
Mm,
not about doing more,
right.
it's about deciding better. Let's say that again. It's not
Yeah.
about doing more, it's about deciding better. And that would not be what my first definition would be when I think digital transformation, right? Because when you think digital, at least I do, it's like, oh, we're going to do really a lot more because the computer does it fast, the
Yeah.
internet does it fast. This is not about doing more, it's about making better decisions.
That I don't need to say nothing else. You that right there. That's the tagline for this episode right there. Right. We can let that marinate right there because that really, again, in my opinion, and obviously what you're saying as well, that's what matters.
Right.
Knowing what matters for you
Right.
as an individual entrepreneur, solopreneur, whatever your business and things of that is to move forward. Digital transformation and AI, that just happens to be the hype word that's out there today, but we're
Right.
we're moving away from that.
Totally.
And if it's If it's something different for you as a retail leader, if it's something different for you as a restaurant owner or whatever the case may be, it's going to be different for everyone. And if you, again, if you don't have that clear purpose, clear enough purpose, it's not going to be 100% clear. It's not going to be perfect. But if you don't have that direction that
You're not
matters for you,
you're not going to succeed. I
you're
mean,
not going to succeed.
it's as
Sorry.
it's as
It's
that.
harsh.
So one of the things that was important to us as we were creating this whole show with all the different topics and things is that one would lead into the next.
Yeah.
And so our next topic, our next thing our next episode, we're going to be digging into how leaders actually evaluate technology investments because we're again the gurus are telling you need to buy this and you need to buy that and you need to invest in this. No, you don't.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
And so we're going to talk about that very specifically, why it's not just what shows up on the spreadsheet. So that's deep.
Nice,
I think
nice little tease you got there. I like that. Okay, that's
people, you guys, I already put up some scrolls here. Let's put up some. How do we get in touch with James? You can go to James Hicks at hicksnewsmedia.com. It's a great site, by the way. A lot of good, cool things that are going on there. Go check it out. And you can go check out my site at CarenGlasser.com. Cool things going on there as well. One of the things that I have going on my site, and we'll be talking about this as we move into other episodes, and that is owning your content, not renting space somewhere else, like Facebook, like YouTube, like Instagram, like everything. I mean, almost everything. If you don't own it, they can shut you down in a minute. So that's going to be one of our topics moving forward. Any last thoughts from you, my friend, Dr. Hicks?
I love the dialogue. I love the fact that we are consciously looking to have a conversation about stuff that matters, and it doesn't matter what type of a business owner an individual is. It doesn't matter what size or scale that a company is, right? It matters and it resonates across the board. And we're going to shoot straight. I know you are. Again, like I said, I'm just going to be here to heckle from the back of the room, but I think that's refreshing because folks just hear the rah-rah, the marketing, the promo pitches a lot of times.
Right.
Some of that's okay, but when you're really trying to get the debits and the credits and the revenue and the balance sheets and all of that stuff taken care of and what matters for you as an individual owner, you do want someone you can trust. You want the subject matter experts. You want the trusted advisors, whatever adjective you want to call Caren. He's all of them. So this is going to be really cool.
It is. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's been a pleasure talking with you today. If you guys that are listening right now, you have a topic or something that you're curious about that you'd like us to do a deep dive on, put it in the comments or send us a message either from either sites. Let us know because we want to be able to support you. That is what our mission is here, is to support you, take the fear out of this technology so you can't wait to jump in. That's all I got. See you later, everyone.
Be good to yourself.